Hi, I am here with another set of book recommendations. This time it's going to be YA fantasy series. I have picked out 6 series that I think hold up really well, and I think you can read them no matter what age you are, but they are geared towards younger audiences. So the first one I'm going to talk about is probably one of my favorite series within a series, and it is the Tiffany Aching series, which is in the Discworld series by Terry Pratchett, and the first book in that series is The We Free Men. And the Tiffany Aching series follows Tiffany Aching, and she is a young girl who finds out that she is a witch and has to fight a whole bunch of magical creatures. I love this series so much. It is probably the best coming of age series I have ever read, because the first book is set when she's 10, and the second one is when she's 12, and the third one when she's 14, and then the fourth one, which I believe is the last one, is when she's 16. I absolutely adore these books. They're a quick read, they're an easy read, and Tiffany Aching is probably one of my favorite fictional characters. The next series I'm going to talk about is the Bartimaeus Trilogy by Jonathan Stroud, and the first book in that series is The Amulet of Samarkand. These books are set in an alternate universe in London where magicians are in power and demons exist. These books follow Nathaniel and Bartimaeus, who is the demon that he controls, and Nathaniel is way too young to actually be controlling this demon, but he does because he's actually really powerful and he's a really great guy. But he's not a great guy. But if my memory is right, I didn't like Nathaniel very much, but I did absolutely love Bartimaeus, because part of the fun thing about these books is that a lot of how you get to know Bartimaeus the demon is through these little footnotes, which are kind of like backstories and asides by Bartimaeus and him being snarky. And I absolutely loved these books. There are 3 books in the trilogy, but there's also a prequel that came out pretty recently. I really enjoyed these books, so I think if you want to, you can pick them up. The next book is the least YA. I don't think it's not YA at all. But I absolutely love these books, and I read them when I was a teenager. And that series is the Thursday Next series by Jasper, Fforde, the first of which is The Heir Affair. And it is about Thursday Next, and she is a literary detective in England in the 80s. And this is another alternate universe where like toast is dangerous, and like people are smuggling cheese into England, and people can read themselves into books, and vampires and chimera and werewolves exist. So super fun. Thursday Next can read herself into any book, and she does, and ends up changing the end to a certain book, Jane Eyre, and then gets recruited to join the police force within the book world. If you like books about books, I would highly suggest this series. The next series that I'm going to talk about is the Pendragon series by DJ MacHale, the first of which is The Merchant of Death, which is a very ominous name. The first book is a really dark introduction into the world that Bobby Pendragon, which is this kid, enters when he is 14. Bobby finds out that he is a traveler and can go to different worlds, and there are a whole bunch of bad things happening in different worlds because there's like a big bad that's trying to ruin everything. There are 10 books in this series. It's been a while since I've read them, so I don't remember a lot about them. I just remember really enjoying them. And each book he's in a different world and has to like completely change how he sees things and has to like change everything. And these books are great. The next series I'm going to talk about is probably the most YA, or it's probably geared towards the youngest people, but it holds up really well, and that is the Artemis Fowl series by Eoin Colfer. I have no idea how to pronounce the author's first name. These books are so great, and I think because he wrote the main character Artemis so intelligent, these books hold up really well, and they're really smart and funny, and I love the world that he has set this in, where fairies exist and there's this whole underworld thing that exists, and Artemis kind of dives headfirst into it and gets himself into quite a bit of trouble. There are quite a few of these books, and they are all really well written, and the last one is really, really sweet and kind of ties everything together. So I absolutely adore these books. And the last series that I'm going to recommend, I believe this is the only series that is not finished. I don't know, Thursday Next series might not be finished, but I believe this is the only series that is not finished, and it is the London something. I can't ever remember the name of this actual series, but it is the London Ghost series that Maureen Johnson is writing, and the first one is Name of the Star, and it is about this girl from Louisiana who is in school in London. And these books are so great because they are so creepy and so well written, and it doesn't follow a lot of the like YA tropes where the main character is a girl thing, which Maureen Johnson is so great at. I absolutely love these books. They're not good to read at night because they are very creepy and they're about ghosts. And there are only 2 out right now, and I believe the 3rd one is coming out at some point in the future. Those are my YA, I guess, fantasy series recommendations. I read a lot of YA fantasy. I don't think I realized that. That's okay. I hope that you read some good books. Bye.